Are you waiting for the budget to know what moves you should make next? Are you waiting for regulations to change? If you're a politician, May is important. But if you're a business owner and you're building your business, hoping to time government's decision, you have already handed over your power. Policies change every 4 years or so. Sometimes every 4 months. Unreliable. You cannot wait for someone else to decide your future. You've got to take control as an entrepreneur. If your motivation is tied to taxes, incentives, and interest cycles, your drive will always be fragile. Now, sometimes you can time them well, but you're playing Russian roulette, especially with your business and your customers. If your motivation is tied to your service towards your customers and understanding their values, you become resilient because now you're no longer looking for someone else to tell you what to do, but the purpose to serve your customers. You become consistent, you become unstoppable. So someone asked me after the last episode, how can I take advantage of the vacuum being created while the system remains unchanged? That's a good question. Welcome to the Aware Goal Setting series on the EG Success Mindset podcast, created for business owners, leaders, and individuals like yourself who want to understand themselves, optimize performance, and multiply influence. My name is Ernest Kikuma. Last week in episode 1, we asked about goals. We talked about 3 types of goals. Goal type A is where you already know what to do. Okay? For example, if you own a car and you said, my goal this year is to get another car, you already know how to do it. There is no growth whatsoever required for that goal. Goal type 2, you might decide to get a little bit expensive car in this case, and you already know what to do. It might stretch you a little to figure out the funding. The third type of goal is goal type C. And this is where you know what you desire, but you're not sure how to get there. It demands change. The type C goal has to be pulling you towards a better, brighter future. Now, the journey between where you were and where the goal exists, there's going to be challenges, and that is a call to grow. If you are a Bible scholar, Abraham was called by the over and enduring spirit, and he was told, leave your parents, leave your normal, leave your comfort zone, and go on a journey. He had no idea exactly the challenges he was going to face, but he stepped out in faith and managed to get there. And that is the type C goal that we're talking about. So today we stay in alignment. According to statistics, most people set New Year's resolutions. I've been there myself. But by the time February comes, most goals are gone. We have given up and we've gone back to repeating the good old behavior. There's a sentiment of thinking, oh, maybe the goal was too big. That's not true. The bigger the goal in most cases, well, the brain perceives the challenge and it becomes scared. But in most cases, it's because we are misaligned. We set the big goal that is not aligned with our values. So if we go within then, and we begin to explore what is happening, we are more likely to achieve the goal. Most people set goals that are externally motivated. I want to make more money. I want to look successful. I want more social media followers. I want to beat the competition. All that is external forces telling you what to do. We've all been there. And it's the way we've been conditioned. We have been trained in school that we need to study because of an exam. So someone else tells us what we need to do to achieve a particular outcome. Psychologists call this controlled motivation, or living in duty over living in design. So if you choose to live out of duty, then your life is curtailed for you. You are within a system. You already know what to do. It's like in the military. You cannot be a free thinker. On the other hand, if you choose a goal, then you are framing your future and aligning yourself and your values with the goal, and you're moving towards that direction. So extrinsic goals or external motivation, if you want to know the type of goal that is driving you right now, it sounds like I have to, I should, I could. It's all extrinsic, not coming from within. So there is an issue with conforming with an externally driven goal. What happens when the reward shrinks? In the UK, the current government is taxing businesses like they don't care. Right, so because they are taxing businesses, people are withholding. More people are scared of getting into businesses. Business owners are leaving the country. So we can see that if the external reward shrinks, higher taxes, tighter margins, slower demand, the motivation collapses, which also leads to stress and anxiety and other mental health issues. It can lead all the way to family breakdowns. Now remember, it's not that the business is not going to work. It's just that because the reason I was doing this is to make money and now the government has shut that door, I move backwards. Intrinsic motivation or motivation from within sounds different. I choose to. I am aligned with this because it resonates with me. This reflects who I am becoming or who I desire to be. The goal that you are setting or you've set for yourself already, is it incongruent with your values? Is it in alignment with how you feel or the person you're becoming? Because if it's not pulling you upwards, you're likely either one, repeating trivia, something you've already done, or someone else has set the goal for you. If your highest value is serving, delivering the best value to customers, or solving a problem because you lost someone out of the problem, then it doesn't really matter whether the government changes the law or not. You have a quest, a calling to answer to. So my goal is to influence and help as many people as I can achieve better results in their businesses, leadership styles, and personal lives. The challenges I've faced have taken me on a journey, and I've come to understand I have a gift. But unless I work at the gift, it will die dormant within me. So what about yourself? The market changes. This is change, guaranteed. But people hardly change. How do you take advantage of the vacuum that is being left by those who are leaving because of better tax rates elsewhere and leaving their customers behind? You've got to look at what problem are you solving and then decide to offer better value, do more for your customer to solve their pain. And it could be that those people who are leaving, they're your customers. You could solve their pain of helping them keep their businesses operational right here in the UK or wherever you are, and make sure they are looked after. You could start using AI, for example, and find ways and means in which you can solve the problem faster than the policies can change. And that is how you begin to take advantage of the vacuum. Now, people hardly change. And this is really the core idea of the message. If you look at your life in the past 10 years and you look at your friends, you might realize if you're a growing type of person, there are people you knew 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and they're roughly the same place, doing maybe the same jobs, complaining in the same way, and they seem to have the same friends. Is that a bad idea? Not necessarily. However, when you are a growing person, you want to see progress and results. People resist change, especially because of our values. Values are buried deep within our subconscious mind. Most of the values you and I have, we did not choose them. They were grown within us. We were trained to assimilate them. When you look around the UK, for example, there's a lot of issues within the immigration system. Why immigrants came in and chose to stay in their corners, and they have come in and neglected to understand how values align so we can live in a cohesive society. Whenever your values or my values are challenged, we rise up and we fight back. When values are honored, we love the person on the other side. When motivation drops, it's often because the mind is overwhelmed by the scale of the matter. The global economy is a big idea. Oh, the markets are collapsing. Versus my economy, maybe I have one credit card, maybe I have two credit cards. If I don't understand the difference, my brain shuts down. So I have to separate between the big idea that causes overwhelm to what am I able to control. So let's say for example, you say, oh, I'm not long-term focused. I can't set a 10-year goal. I can't set a 5 years goal. Can you set a 6 months goal? Can you take daily action steps? Do you see what I'm talking about? The brain will always be overwhelmed by a big picture, because in most cases, we discount what we can do in the long term and overestimate the short term. If you flip that, you realize that if you begin taking steps that are manageable on a daily basis, you are going to get to that type C goal and the journey will be enjoyable. And that's what the next 90 days I'm calling you to do. Start breaking down your goal into chunks to begin taking daily steps. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Simplifying the gigantic task to bite size allows your brain to see a pathway. There's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. Have you ever bought a car or something you really liked? And then you started seeing these things everywhere you went. But before you bought it, you had never seen them. That is your RAS signaling to you because of your interest, and that is how your brain finds a way. If you simplify a complex task into bite-sized chunks, your brain will find a pathway. Your brain either distorts or disorganizes the information because of the overload. But when you decide on a thing and you're driven by desire from within, because it's aligned with your values, you begin to see a pathway. In a way, you begin to attract that which you're looking for. So value-based focus brings attention back to that which is actionable. So let's say you have a goal to make £1 million. Ask yourself, what service am I offering and what is the market value of the service? It's silly to think that you're just going to go and sell something that the market is not going to pay you the price that you desire. Then you can shrink that £1 million to how much money do I need to generate on a monthly basis? Take the million, divide it by 12. If it's in 5 years, divide by 60, you have a monthly chunk. If you bring that to a daily rate, if it's in 1 year, £4,000 or dollars every day. That means you need at least 4 conversions worth £1,000 or $1,000. Right. So if my target goal then is I need to speak to 4 people today who are going to pay me $1,000 for my service, for the value that I provide, where do I find them? Okay, so that's another question. Now you have a product, you know the value in which the market is going to pay. Don't think about the million, just those 4 customers. If you're having consistently every day 10 appointments a day, speaking to the right qualified customers, it's only a matter of time before you begin to achieve your goal. So you've taken a big goal and you've reduced it to the ridiculous. This is how intrinsic motivation is protected. If you can provide sufficient value that will get you to your big number, then you know all you need to focus on is who are you sitting in front of? And are they worth, or is my service, the service I'm providing, worth the amount of money I am demanding from the marketplace? If you're a leader, on the other hand, and you have a team of people that you're working with and a goal to lead them from where they are, past results, to new results, it's very important you understand their personality types. This is where code comes in. A personality type assessment, C for connectors, O for organizers, D for detail-oriented individuals, and E for effervescent people. Your team has those 4. Understanding personality types helps you lead better. Let me give you a very quick overview here. The C, connectors, their core values is connection and contribution. These are people persons. To lead them, help them see the brighter side of the work. What about the organizers? If you have an organizer in your team, they value stability. If you're an organizer, you value stability. You like order. Uncertainty can stall you. How do you turn that around? Focus on what you can control. Again, you're moving away from external motivation and you're finding and working with your strengths, your intrinsic motivations. Your routines, your systems, and your daily order can become your anchor. Detail-oriented individuals, on the other hand, value competence and logic. Now, in this kind of weather where the laws are changing all the time, we're hearing a lot of challenges happening here and there, competence and logic, they're shifting. On the other hand, you know your customers better. You know your team members better. So what can you do? You use logic and model for progress and not for paralysis. You begin to use the detail orientation that you have, find the core information your customer needs, whether big corporate or a small individual. Find what it is they need to move forward to the next step. Remember, the more people you and I help to get to their goal, the sooner or the faster we get to our goals. No one gets ahead by themselves. And finally, the E types. Your core value is freedom, energy, and play. Restrictions can trigger frustration and impulsive pivots. Instead of trying to run away, you need to step back, slow down, and allow your mind to see another way through the noise and through the clutter. If you decide to leave, make sure that you hire the right person for the work you're leaving behind. If not, your business will collapse. If you're staying, then don't stay by looking on your hindsight mirror. Look at the customers or the people you're serving and allow your type C goal to excite you. Unless, of course, the government is your customer. Then you have a different problem. So let's bring this to a close. We have now discovered that change is a constant. Nothing stays the same. Everything is moving. The law of vibration dictates you're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. The external landscape will continue to shift. If you're chasing conditions, you will always feel as if you're running on your hind legs. If you're aligned with your values, remain centered, and have clarity of what you're aiming towards, the way might change, but you know where you're going. Everything you desire has a price. The question is, are you willing to pay the price? So let's bring this episode into a close by doing a quick summary. First, identify your obligations, reframe them as conscious choices aligned with your values. Choose to take responsibility of your thoughts, of your feelings, and the actions that you take, and let the results be feedback. Every result is feedback telling you whether you're moving towards positive emotion or away from your goal, negative emotion. Number 2, break down your type C goal, that big overwhelming idea, into small, chunkable or workable plan. Ideally on a day-to-day basis, you know what you're doing every day. Number 3, take action. If we do not take action, nothing changes. So begin to take action immediately, even if you're going to take internal action. Begin to visualize and bring down the visualization into your body. How is it going to feel now that you have achieved that goal? If you follow the steps in the goal setting, if you align your type C goal with your values, you build momentum by taking action. Next week, I'll continue on awareness. We're going to dive a bit deeper. So hopefully today you have gained an insight of how you can take advantage of the vacuum as it's being created. We have gone to breaking down the type C goal and bringing down all the way to micro actions, things you can do on a daily basis, whether mentally by visualization or physical actions, picking up that phone, sending that message, showing up, start those conversations that may lead you towards your goal. My name is Anis Gikuma, and I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Next week, join me for awareness. Until then, take action and God bless.